The 2025 PWHL signing window is here. I'm surprised that the league is having this before the entry draft, to be honest. It's okay to be creative though. According to the league, all teams are now able to sign players on expiring contracts, as well as make trades that can also include 2025 draft picks. I don't know why they didn't just refer to it as free agency if all expiring contracts are now up for grabs. It doesn't say on the site, but teams are now able to also re-sign any of their restricted free agents at this time. However, it doesn't say anything about those players being able to negotiate with other teams. And I think what this means is you can't negotiate with an RFA unless you trade for their rights, which is something that I heard about earlier in the season. If anyone can correct me on that though, please do so. But anyways, in this video I'm going to be predicting where every unrestricted free agent is going to sign this offseason. If there's any players that I don't name, it means that I don't believe that they will be returning to the league next season. Also, restricted free agents aren't going to be brought up at this time. If you enjoy my content, be sure to give this video a big like. Let's try for 15 likes this time. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also hit that bell so you get notified whenever I upload.
Let's begin with Natalie Spooner, who will be re-signing with the Toronto Scepters. Jessie Compher had a great season last year and will also re-sign with Toronto. Hannah Miller going back to her hometown in Vancouver. Susanna Topani looked great with Boston, will re-sign. Teresa Vanishva re-signing with the Ottawa Charge. Cheyenne Darkangelo going to the Montreal Victoire. Elaine Chuli, Toronto Scepters. Katie Tabin re-signing with the Victoire. Abby Levy providing some goaltender insurance in Seattle. Lexia Gia to provide some depth in Seattle. Taylor Gerard joining her best friend also in Seattle. Mariah Keppel joining that Princeton connection in Vancouver. Jinsey Rose going to the New York Sirens. Rebecca Leslie staying in her hometown in Ottawa. Fan favorite Zoe Boyd re-signing with the Charge. Alexa Vasco re-signing with Ottawa. Elizabeth Giguère going back to her home province in Montreal. Jade Downey Landry re-signing with the Sirens. Chloe Aurard looking for a fresh start and a resurgence to her career in Boston. Callie Flanagan going back to her home state with the Fleet. Sydney Morin re-signing with the Fleet. Carly Jackson re-signing with the Scepters. Lauren Gable looking for that fresh start in New York. Rylan McKinnon going back to her home province with Vancouver. Natalie Bookbinder re-signing with the Frost. Walter Cup winning scorer Liz Sheppers re-signing with Minnesota. Minnesota-born goalie Maddie Rooney re-signing with Minnesota. Maggie Connors continuing that Princeton connection in Vancouver. Caitlin Willoughby re-signing with Montreal. Alexandra LaBelle also re-signing with Montreal. Michaela Grant-Mentis going back home to Toronto. Jill Saulnier found her game with Boston, going to re-sign. Catherine Dubois re-signing with the Victoire. Teresa Schaafzahl signing with Boston. Laura Kluge staying with Toronto. Brooke Hobson going to Vancouver. Haley Skamura looking to revitalize her career with the Sirens. Melissa Channel-Watkins may receive some calls, but she's going to re-sign with Minnesota. Dominika Lashkova going to that Czech connection in Ottawa. Claire Dalton providing depth for Seattle. Sandra Abstreiter providing goaltender depth for Vancouver. Claire DeGeorge won a bet with Laura Stacey going to re-sign with Montreal. Brooke Bryant re-signing with Minnesota. Natalie Snodgrass, Minnesota Frost. Emma Greco, Toronto Scepters. Michaela Cava also going back to where she won the Isabel Cup and joining her girlfriend in Toronto. Jessica DiGirolamo, Montreal Victoire. Clara Peslarova, may be controversial but going to the Ottawa Charge. Jillian Dempsey staying with the Boston Fleet. Amanda Pelkey also staying with the Boston Fleet. Kelly Babstock providing that reserve depth and physical depth for Seattle. Alexi Gay staying with the New York Sirens. Maggie Flaherty staying with the Minnesota Frost. Gabrielle David staying with the Victoire. Kellyanne Nadeau also staying with the Victoire. Olivia Knowles going back to her home province in Vancouver. Kayla Vespa staying with the Sirens. Claire Budarak staying with the Frost. Cassidy Sauve going to try out for Montreal. Taylor House staying with the Ottawa Charge. Sam Isbell also staying with the Charge. Lucy Morgan going to go back to the Minnesota Frost. Jessica Condes staying with the Toronto Scepters. Caitlin O'Donohoe staying with the Minnesota Frost. Logan Angers providing that goaltender depth staying with the Ottawa Charge. Charlotte Akervik staying with the Minnesota Frost as a depth defender. Kennedy Marchment, she's been injured, but if a team is going to give her a tryout, that team will be Vancouver. And finally, Olivia Zafuto will re-sign with the Fleet. So those are all my predictions on where each team's free agents will sign. I'm sure I'm not going to get a lot of them correct, but it's a fun sort of thought process to go through. I'd love to know where you believe certain players will end up. Stay tuned for when I compare my predictions to the actual results. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like, and also be sure to check out my other PWHL content. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any more other PWHL content, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!